Hey everyone, Nicole Russo coming to you from Lexington, Kentucky, along with colleague Joe Nevills for the Oaks Countdown. Let's take a look again at our top five list for the Philly Classic. And if you've been following us this winter, you'll see no changes to our list from last week, as it was a quiet weekend on the prep front. But things are really going to start heating up now with the Philly Classic, now less than 10 weeks away. Not only do we have divisional champion Caledonia Road getting back on the work tab, but we're looking at 4 points races coming up on the schedule in the next week here that could have an impact. We've got the UAE Oaks, the Busher at Aqueduct, the Devona Dale down at Gulfstream, and most interestingly, the Santa Ysabel. Now, this race will include a matchup between two members of our top five list. Our leader in the clubhouse in the undefeated Dream Tree, already a grade one winner, and Midnight Bisou, who gave her all she could handle in two races last season, including the Desi Arnaz tight finish, before coming back to become a graded winner in her own right last out. And Joe, I know you've always thought pretty highly of this filly.
I'm so interested in Midnight Bisou. She seems like a horse with just a ton of upside. She took our number one contender Dream Tree to her very limit in each of her first two starts, losing by a nose in both the Santa Anita maiden special weight and the Desi Arnaz Stakes at Del Mar last fall, and she was gaining ground in both of them. The filly debuted this year in the Santa Ynez Stakes, and without Dream Tree casting a shadow over her, she drew off to win by 4.5. Very impressive. Her Beyer speed figures have improved with each effort, topping out with the 89 she earned in the Santa Ynez. The big question mark on her resume right now, though, is that she's never taken her game around two turns. She hung in there with Dream Tree, who handled the stretch out herself with no problem, and she's gained ground at the end of each of her three career starts. So you have hope. There's something there you can hang your hat on, but still she's never done it at a distance longer than 7 furlongs. We'll find out pretty quickly in the Santa Ysabel whether Midnight Bisou has the chops to be a real contender on the Kentucky Oaks Trail, and she'll have another chance to prove it against her old foe Dream Tree.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Midnight Bisou hasn't gone farther than 7 furlongs yet, won at that distance last out in the Santa Ynez. She's by champion Midnight Loot, who of course you know as the two-time winner of the Breeders' Cup Sprint. Now, you frequently hear us talk about hidden or latent turf sires, those who raced on dirt, but there are clues in their pedigree that they can sire turf horses. Scat Daddy, a great example when he first came to stud. Now, I also believe in hidden distance sires, and I think Midnight Loot is kind of developing into one of those. The stallion had some throat issues that so far have not been passed on to his offspring, importantly enough. That impacted his own stamina and limited him to sprints where he was so good. But Midnight Loot was certainly bred to be a distance runner, being bi-dual classic winner Real Quiet and turned by Fabiano's son Quiet American. That's a dirt stamina line, and Bob Baffert is on record thinking that the long-bodied Midnight Loot was bred and built to be a distance horse. Midnight Loot has, of course, sired a fair number of stellar sprinters, including Shakin' It Up, who took the Grade 1 Malibu at 7 furlongs, Midnight Lucky, who scored her biggest wins in the Grade 1 Humana Distaff at 7 furlongs, and the Acorn going that one-turn mile at Belmont. Midnight Loot's distance runners sired to date include Queen's Plate winner Midnight Aria, classic placed My Loot, and Sonneteer, really a horse in the mold of his sire, and a stakes winner routing at Oaklawn already this year. Joe, what patterns do you see in Midnight Loot's offspring, and do you think anything in Midnight Bisou's female family offsets or complements him?
Well, the numbers back you up on the hidden distance sire thing. Midnight Loot is himself a champion sprinter, and like you said, the popular opinion makes him out to be a sprinter sire, but his runners win on an average distance of about 7 furlongs and an average maximum winning distance of 7.3 furlongs. On paper, that doesn't sound like much, but it's not a bad number when you consider all of the horses running at the same time. Compare that to a stallion like Uncle Mo, whose average winning distance is 7.29 furlongs, or Tappet, who's at 7.57, and he's right in the mix. Now, looking at her female family, I'm sorry, Midnight Bisou is out of the Repent mare Diva Delight, who won the Grade 3 Florida Oaks at a mile and a 16th. She's had 3 foals, and the first 2 are both lifetime maidens by Congrats. One of them is placed at a mile and a quarter over the all-weather in Ireland, but still looking for your first winners there. Midnight Bisou is very much the standout among Diva Delight's foals so far. And you got to go back up to the 4th dam to really dig deep and find the graded stakes winners in this page. But there's a little bit of fun here. You got Grade 1 winner Pirates Revenge, who earned that black type at a mile and a 16th. Grade 2 winner Green Gambados, who won at a mile and 3/16. Forrest Fealty, who's a Grade 2 winner at 7 furlongs. Sweet Life, who's Grade 1 place at a mile and a quarter. And a fun one I found in there, Sole Provider, winner of the Venezuelan 2,000 guineas at a mile.
Yeah, Midnight Bisou definitely kind of the standout under her first couple of dams, but wherever you look, I think there's definitely some distance capability there. And we will certainly be recapping Dream Tree and Midnight Bisou's latest showdown, along with the other action and a busy weekend, perhaps next weekend on the Oaks Countdown. Be sure not to miss any of that action on the track next Saturday. Daily Racing Form will have reporters on the ground at Santa Anita, Gulfstream, and Aqueduct who will be giving you live up-to-the-minute updates on race day, as well as news on the winners' plans post-race. And we'll be back next week with our updated top contenders list, which will surely see some changes.
Mm-hmm.